Hey everybody! Welcome to another exciting episode of We Talk Wednesday. I think this is the 10th one, right? Which is like a
number 10.
It's a special thing, which means that we did a special thing.
This is the
because
10th
we
anniversary.
What do we have, Buds?
Yeah, to be fair,
We
no one
have
expected us to get
Andre
this
and
far.
Ryan here doing this episode.
Yep. No?
Oh,
Are you
You're not gonna-
like
Who?
why?
Insane is here.
That was incredible, Buns.
Thank you.
I don't know why we ever let Bob like
He fucks it up
try to do names
every
He just
time.
Stops.
It was
Oh,
like-
and me. I forgot about me.
You're such a dick.
God damn
We have
You
a
know,
special guest, Sam, on this episode.
Hello.
Hi, Sam.
How's
Sam
it going?
was our editor for a few episodes.
Yes, I was.
And, yeah. And now he's going to be our first guest on the show. Well,
Right?
yeah, first guest on the show. Proper
Probably-
guest, I guess.
Probably last
Until
too.
Probably last.
No, we're getting-
nah,
we're
that
getting-
Halloween episode, man.
After-
Don't forget about Badlands Chugs. We're gonna get him on too.
Yeah. After,
Yeah, I've sent the email.
although after Sam puts out his Yelp review for the podcast experience, it's going to be a pretty uphill battle for us.
I don't know if that's a thing. Do they make Yelp reviews for podcasts?
Oh god, I hope not.
I'm already typing
Why?
mine up right now.
Oh fuck me. Uh,
5 stars.
Man, you know, I could say
Or you
that
die.
this series of events of the podcast crashing immediately has got me pretty animated with rage. You know, funny thing is,
You're a piece of shit. That was
those
terrible.
are so bad. They're
funny-
so fucking bold and forced.
Alright, fuck it. Yeah, sure. Animation.
that's what we're talking about today.
Mackenzie and Sam both dabble in animation.
The funny thing is, I actually came here to talk about pizza toppings.
Oh!
Yo, what's your
alright.
favorite
That's
pizza
fun.
topping? What do you think Cat
what's your
Sparkle's favorite pizza
You know,
topping
yeah,
is?
you know, yeah.
Pineapple,
good episode.
baby.
Really? You
Pi-
like pineapple?
Pine-
Like, actually?
Yeah, it's
I mean-
unironically really good.
I mean, I don't mind it. It's not my favorite. I'm not a hater though.
I think I've had it like once, and yeah, I kind of agree.
I
with,
like
it's
pineapple
not
on
like,
it.
but it's not something you go crazy for. you know
No,
what
I'm
I
not
mean?
going to the fucking pizza place and being like, oh, I'll have a slice of pizza, and if it doesn't have pineapple on it, I'm like, no, I don't want that one. I want one with pizza or
Yeah.
pineapple on
Well,
it.
I mean, when you order a slice of pizza buns, I'm sorry, do you usually not tell them the things that you want on your pizza?
If you're just getting a slice, you just be like, can I get a slice of pizza? And they have a slice of pizza
Well,
ready.
yeah,
Then they'll give you a plain.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or pepperoni, if you ask.
Uh,
See, I actually used to
Pepperoni,
work
yeah.
as a pizza cook in a pizza restaurant for about 3 years. So
Mamma
when you
mia.
oh shit.
When you eat pizza every single day, sometimes you just got to switch it up. You got to put some pineapple on there. So you got to put some jalapenos. You know, you just got to try new things.
Did
I
you
was
go
just- I
anchovies
like-
if you ever went that far with
Nope.
it?
Anchovies is an absolute, what do you call it? Deal breaker.
Sin?
No way.
I think
Never,
it's sin.
never in my life.
I was
Hey.
a big fan of salad pizza for a while, where you put an entire salad on top of a pizza.
That's good shit.
It really is. It's delicious.
There's somewhere here, I forget where it's to, they sell like a Big Mac pizza.
I hate that sentence.
No.
That sounds
It's just a
interesting.
pizza, but with Big Mac sauce and lettuce and all that shit onto it. And, like
okay.
ground
that doesn't
beef
sound
and
that
then
bad.
cheese and all that. And it's just like a Big Mac but a pizza.
Yeah, but isn't that
Bro.
like too much? Like, cause here's the thing. There's to me like when people get like I'm getting a meat lovers where they have to put every fucking meat on a thing.
It's so greasy.
I am not
It's
a fan
so-
of meat lovers. I really hate meat lover pizza.
Like it's no. I think it's good, but it's one of those things that like if every slice you're getting is a meat lover slice, that's too much. Like it's good like once a month maybe.
Well, like I said, you work in a pizza place. You eat pizza every day. You got to try new things, man. Shit
Dude,
gets stale
the
after a
white slice
while.
is my favorite.
White pizza.
white
White pizza
slices?
is really good.
Mwah.
White pizza is
So
really
good.
good. I really like white pizza.
You should make a cartoon about it.
Oh
I
my
wanna
god!
Oh,
my
what a
God.
segue.
I was about to say, I think this is the quickest we've ever just immediately dropped off topic, so that was really good.
Nah.
It's I can't say that for sure.
Why is there not a breakfast pizza?
There
though?
is though.
Oh,
Like there's already. Yeah, but not every place like does it.
Well,
There's
yeah,
already bread.
because there's this thing called a real pizzeria where you get real pizza, and then there's the gimmick shit where it's like, we put
a real pizzeria could make fucking.
no,
breakfast
you
pizza.
have toppings. That is it. You do not get a styled slice where it's like, woo, it's a omelet pizza. Like, fucking shut up. No.
Nah, it'd be dope. It'd be
shut
dope.
up, an omelet pizza.
I like how I tried to transition and we're still talking about pizza.
Yeah, that's
No, we're done now. That's the last thing. You could say there's steam coming out of my ears, like the old school cartoons. Segue,
I get it, like
go.
an animation.
What do you think Popeye's favorite pizza was?
Spinach.
All right.
Just put
Oh, I
spinach on the
get it.
pizza. Is that
Oh.
the joke?
You really just
No,
went
it-
for the most obvious thing. You didn't even try to subvert it in any way.
I
Sometimes
Damn.
life is simple, man. There's no reason to get crazy with things.
That is true.
if something's gonna fall, it's
Like-
gonna fall. You don't have to subvert it.
You don't think maybe Popeye would like an olive pizza?
I mean,
Hey.
we,
I
we,
get it.
we, we weren't
That's a good
talking
one.
about what he likes. We're talking about his favorite, and he clearly has a very big preference for his particular food item. Hey, also,
Yeah, but I think he got a preference for olives though.
I think
Yeah.
his pizza would be olive pussy pizza.
you know, if you think about it, Popeye is one of the first short kings.
Okay.
Short Kings? What are you talking about?
Wasn't Olive like fucking towering over him?
What is a short king? I've never heard that phrase.
You've never heard that? It's like it's like because women, you know, some women post shit online where they're like, if you're under 5'7", you're not a man. I won't date you.
Yeah,
So there's like
okay.
this whole movement where it's like, nah, get it, short king.
I don't have that problem because I'm like 6 feet tall.
Yeah,
I can't. I
man.
can't hear that problem. I'm too tall. Sorry.
Yeah. I guess I have tall privilege.
You know what
It
else
really
tall
is great.
has?
So
You know what else has
I'm
tall
5.
privilege?
I'm like
Olive from Popeye has tall privilege.
Olive from Popeye has tall privilege, and she's a
Olive
cartoon.
from Popeye
Let's talk about
has
cartoons.
tall privilege.
It would actually
Cartoons.
it would actually be really funny if we spent the entire episode not talking about cartoons.
No,
just-
I
you
mean,
have to
we could do
understand.
it.
That is what we do here. We spend 5 minutes on the topic, and then it just goes somewhere.
I know. I've listened to your show.
He
That
edited
is
the
true.
show.
I'm so sorry for you.
Why would you do that to yourself? There's nothing redeemable about our content.
It's the worst job he's ever had.
That's true.
That is.
I believe it.
That's probably why he quit so hard, or whatever. I don't know what happened.
I quit because I wasn't getting paid.
See, he came on the show to fucking talk shit at Mackenzie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which he deserves.
He's here to get my ass and to get that $10.
I think it's crazy that we're not even making money and Mackenzie's already like stealing shit.
Yeah.
I'm already embezzling money, and it's
That's
like
because.
You've already started embezzling.
Yeah, he opens up like the safe. He puts like $30 in it. He walks away, walks back in, and like sneak steals it. Like, yeah.
I got.
That's wild, Mackenzie.
I take-
How could you do that?
He
I
takes-
take $20 from my PayPal account and send it to my bank.
I was gonna say he takes a $20 bill out of his pocket and then he just puts it in his other pocket.
Holy fuck!
We'll never see this coming.
So are you embezzling money? No, I'm just switching things around. I don't like it in my right pocket.
You know what else is a lot like embezzling money?
Animation.
This is a good episode.
Did
I
you know
mean-
Sam is making his own cartoon?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow, you didn't tell your
Is it-
friends about me?
Is it
I-
anything like?
I thought I did. I was kind of hoping they were going to be like, yeah, tell me about that. I'm really excited to hear more
Wait,
about
wait,
it.
Well,
Wait.
I remember you telling us.
Yeah.
I don't. He told us.
Yeah, I told you.
Yes.
All right.
Fine.
Well, is it anything like Has Been Hotel?
God, fuck no.
Fortunately for me, no, it's not.
Damn, get their ass.
That's good.
I mean,
Tell us about your show.
to each their own, but like that show is just not for me.
I don't like Has Been Hotel either.
It's not very funny, and it's just
But I think looks wise, like it looks good.
even the look
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of. It's not my style, you know. I like
But like,
I like weird, gritty, handmade things. Obviously, it's also handmade. It's just it looks a little bit too polished for me.
Well, it thinks it's gritty with all those hilarious, edgy jokes it's making.
I didn't come here to diss on Has Been Hotel. Okay, I'm just here.
Yeah, we came here to diss
Whoa.
on bigger studios. Pixar, we're coming. for
Actually,
you.
we came here to diss on my work.
Did we?
Yeah, let's talk shit
no.
about
oh
it.
fuck. Okay, let's get his ass.
Roast me,
Sam.
boys. Roast me.
Sam,
Alright.
your animation.
Nice.
Well, yeah. Get their ass. All right, Ryan, your
Yeah.
turn.
Damn. Tell me how you really
I've
feel.
never-
Whoa, yeah, get their ass. Andre, go.
Oh, wait, I'm not done. I've never seen it, so clearly it doesn't mean anything, and because I'm a god, I know everything.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Andre, your turn.
Andre, go.
You seem like a very nice person.
Th-
But your animations are, I don't know, fine, probably.
Oh, they're just
Oh no, wait,
fine.
no, that's true. Wait, I think I have seen it.
They're
How long-
just fine.
do you do you consider yourself a Giga Chad? Do you try and do like 20-minute things, or do you do like things that don't kill your insides?
No, I do things that kill my insides. I'm definitely a Giga
Yeah.
Chad.
The way that I met Sam, I believe, was I went to like the screening of Vitality, the first episode, on your Twitch, and we were just talking, and you're like, "Yeah, I spent 2 years on this animation." I'm like, "You did what?" I was so impressed by that, and I had to talk to you more about it. So we just started talking about animation and
Yeah,
his drive behind it.
I'm from what I can remember, because I have a shitty memory. I'm pretty sure Mackenzie like sent me, one of them, and I think I saw the first one, or whatever was on YouTube at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it, and I was thinking like, I thought it looked really good.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I very very much enjoyed what I saw. So
Yeah, I have a lot of fun watching Sam's stuff and working on it as well, because I do tend to try and lend a hand as much as I can.
Well, I'm
No,
glad
that's
you
good.
like it. I really enjoy making it.
Yeah. Do you want to talk
hear that.
I
about...
could.
Oh, fuck.
Why?
What?
So everyone started talking. Do you want to talk about your new show?
Sure, I can give you a quick rundown.
Okay.
I have a pilot that I'm about to finish up pretty soon here. I'm going to take it to some film festivals, and we'll see maybe about posting it online. But it's basically it's a send up of corporate movie culture and kind of the discussions around movies, but taken from an indie perspective. So the characters in the show are indie filmmakers, and they have, they have opinions, much like
Man.
much like myself, and I assume the rest of you guys. So it's been a lot of fun to make. I employed people that I used to work with at this restaurant to be all of the voice actors. So it's 100% certified, non-union.
Nice.
I made
Except me.
Still stacked.
I'm in the union.
God.
Got his
Well,
ass. I ruined the whole show.
well, you're fired.
Wait.
So
Honestly, you deserve it if you're not if you didn't pay him.
Well, that's probably why you should be in a union.
no, he did pay me. He just stopped asking me to do the work. That's the real truth.
Oh, okay.
He said, "Actually, no. I'll just do the work myself."
Yeah, I got more free time, so I was able to actually edit the videos myself.
Do you know what? Do you know what the? I'm sorry.
No, you go.
I
I'm
was-
sorry. No, you go.
Yeah, I
Okay,
was gonna
Ryan, you
say.
go.
Don't interrupt me.
Oh,
I'm talking. What I was gonna say is I'm a really bad person because you said your pitch for the show, and you know what it reminded me of?
What's that?
Do you,
Uh-oh.
do you guys remember Demo Reel, the Nostalgia Critic show?
no.
No.
Ah,
How embarrassing. Holy fuck, Ryan.
that's a real shame, man.
Tell us.
Wow.
Anyway,
Honestly,
Tell us about Demo Reel.
so the Nostalgia Critic killed off his popular character, the Nostalgia Critic. You guys know who he is? The Nostalgia Critic?
No.
I've heard of him. I've never seen a video though.
Oh. He was a movie maker. He killed himself off in a movie so he could make other stuff. He made a web series about
That's
being
sad.
a independent film creator that made like parody movies, and it was all about like people who criticize stuff, man. They're bad people and stuff, and it was a whole thing. It would
Oh,
be funnier if you got it.
It was
It
just an
sound- it
attack on
sounds terrible.
critics.
No, well, it was like, because he used to be, like, an internet critic, so he would, you know, do the thing where he, like, screamed at movies and, like, overblew the criticism. And it was, like, a criticism on that.
So he criticized
But no-
himself?
He was trying to. He was trying to turn over a new leaf, but nobody liked it, and everybody said it was a bad show, so he gave up and just came Nostalgia Critic again. And now he makes bad reviews of Pink Floyd albums, I guess.
Yeah, I guess he does. No, my show is much better than anything that Doug Walker is capable of making.
Get his fucking ass.
No, I mean, to be fair, that's not a very high ceiling, Buns.
That's true.
If you've seen his fucking movies. Jesus.
God.
That's very true.
Oh, the
no,
first.
no, I've had a lot of fun making the show. My girlfriend voices the main character, which is a very rambunctious, loudmouth filmmaker woman who is she's just out to get Disney's ass, basically. But I mean, it explores a lot of different topics. It explores all kinds of movies and the way that we talk about them, and kind of the impact that a movie can have, intentionally or unintentionally. So the show itself is, it's pretty good. I have like 6 episodes written so far. So if you want to check out our Patreon, fund the
Oh.
project, we can potentially get more episodes made more quickly. That's my little plug.
Which would be-
I know I should have probably saved
It'll
that
be
for the
linked.
end of the episode, but
No, it's fine.
No, plug it again at the end.
I figured
it's
out-
fine.
Yeah, plug as much as you
well-
need.
We'll make sure to put like a link wherever we have to.
Yeah.
I
You know.
love how we're here, like, man, you know what's awesome? Farts. And then this guy's on, he's like, yeah, I'm writing this deep piece about, like, movie cultures and what it means.
Okay,
shit.
I'm making my own show. I'm probably gonna make it into a full-blown production.
Yeah,
Us.
you can't
Haha.
get, you can't,
But
Far-
that's amazing though. You
No,
know?
it is.
That's like a really good, like, accomplishment. Like I do have a question
Sure.
though. So I know you said that your other show took you 2 years for like just one episode, or like most.
for about 5 minutes of an episode, yeah.
yeah, animation's gross.
Oh,
like that.
wow.
Yeah.
But what
'Cause it-
I was also doing, I was doing it on hard mode, which is it's called it's called frame by frame animation, where every single frame is a new drawing. I have since
Oh wow.
for this new project, I have since switched over to something that's called puppet animation. So it saves a lot of time. I've only been in production on it for about a year, and it's about 11 minutes long. And of course, it's not a straight year of animating. I have a day job, so that's mostly my free time.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sometimes you just don't get to animate when you're going to somebody's wedding or going to a funeral or whatever. So life gets in the way sometimes, but you can get things done a lot faster. So if my first project took me 2 years to make 5 minutes, and then this project took me 1 year to make 11 minutes, I'm crossing my fingers that I can do another 11 minutes in about 6 months.
Yeah.
But you do lose something, right? Because I know they say hand drawn is supposed to look well. It doesn't inherently look better, but you can make it look a lot more fluid, I guess.
For sure.
Because I know, is it Cuphead which is all hand drawn animation?
Yes.
Right.
Cuphead is like traditionally hand on paper drawn animation, then it's scanned into the computer and done up in Photoshop, which is I believe the exact same way Sam did Vitality the first episode and even Vitality part like the second episode type of thing,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
Which takes a long time because you got to think like you draw one full frame out on your desk or whatever you're doing it on, and you got to scan that in, and then you got to adjust it, and then you got to get a whole process just for one frame of animation.
Yep. And then you multiply that by, I think the original pilot had like 1,100 drawings. I actually forgot about the original pilot. That actually did take me 2 years. I think the next episode, which was 5 minutes, took me a little bit less than that.
Yeah, because I mean, like I can imagine that you streamline the flow, right? Every time you're doing a project, you're streamlining that production cycle a little bit more and more every time, right?
For sure. You definitely get faster. And also just by virtue of developing your skills more, you get faster.
Well,
No, go ahead.
okay, because normally, right, for a big project like real like a show, like a full-length show, right? You, for instance, would be doing like keyframes, right? And then you'd have like underlings doing all the stuff in between that, right?
Yeah, that's generally the process. Most productions have a key animator who does the keyframes, and then all the other animators do the in-between work, which the in-between work is just as important, but...
Oh, absolutely, but it's just like... I don't want to say it's not seen as much, but it's like... Because it's like the motion of the action, it doesn't need to be as, what's the word? Refined, I guess, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, the whole idea is that the key animator, and the reason that they're called keys is because they're so important and integral to the scene. So the key animator needs to be the best artist because that is the guy who decides what the poses are, and then the other animators fill out in between those poses.
Because it's like, even if you're missing a certain amount of frames, your brain will fill in those gaps, but it will look less fluid. So the more frames, the smoother it actually looks.
Correct.
Right. That's right.
And now the whole, the computer animation thing kind of changes a lot of that, because instead of one guy doing the key poses and then other animators filling everything out in between, you have like 6 different teams of people that go in. One of them does the texture on the skin, one of them does the lighting, one of them does the background particles, one of them does there's like 15 or 20 different teams of people on a 3D animation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
One of them is responsible for the way that the camera moves. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's like there's this studio, I forget their name, but they make Guilty Gear, right, which is a fighting game. And that the fighting game uses all 3D like models and stuff, but they're trying to replicate a 2D look. So it's very interesting the stuff they do to make that work. It's incredible.
They do a lot of shit. Like that's where I like looking at stuff, like making 3D art look like 2D art, because there's so much camera like finagling and all this shit. If you look at it from any other angle, it's gonna look like garbage.
It's like in Dragon Ball FighterZ. There's a frame where like Gohan's hand is very close to the camera, and they broke it so you could see it from a different angle. And it's not that his hand is actually closer; it's just that it's huge.
Yeah, to make shit like that work, they'll take the model and say, like you said, they want to have one hand super close to the camera and one hand super far back, and they want the lens to be super distorted, right? And have like a big like cone of view. they will break the model and have it so that the front hand is super huge and broken and popped out more, like you popped out a socket, and the other hand is super far stretched back and shrunk down, right?
Yeah,
it's
and
just
there's
like little camera tricks.
all kinds of reasons why you have to do stuff like that, just on a technical side, because I'll be honest, most things that use that 3D for 2D effect, they don't look good to my eye because I see all of the behind the scenes stuff and it just kind of looks ugly to me. I don't know if you guys saw A Wolf Among Us, one of those Telltale games. It
Oh yeah.
tried to look like a
That
comic
one-
book. For me,
That one's kind of rough.
Yeah.
it did not look good. The only things,
Yeah.
and that process is called cell shading, and the only cell shaded game that I've actually thought looked good was Breath of the Wild.
Oh yeah. Well,
Breath
because
of the Wild looks really good.
like I know at least Borderlands, their cell shading was basically just to cover up the game kind of looked shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of how Borderlands looks. I appreciate the effort to make it look stylized, but to me, I just see a 3D model with some computer generated lines around it.
Yeah.
Would you say that ruins stuff for you? Like, as someone who's in animation, does that ever like make things like harder to just appreciate?
Absolutely. On one hand, it does make cheap animation look worse, but on the other hand, when you see a really good animation, you appreciate it on a different level than your average viewer is capable of.
Yeah.
Especially once you study animation for a while and you go back and you look at something like Pinocchio or Cinderella or Alice in Wonderland, the skill level on those movies, you just can't appreciate them as a kid or even as an adult if you don't understand the underlying principles. Even stuff like Popeye, even Popeye or Betty Boop, or those things require such immense levels of skill.
Oh man, it's just like that all that stuff. The Looney Tunes stuff is just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, genuinely.
I love watching old cartoons like that. Just seeing how expressive they are, like, because you got to think now people, when they're starting off in animation, they kind of have an idea. Okay, this is what it's supposed to look like. This is what we need to do. We need to just kind of break that. So you get like the same kind of idea from most people, right? You see, this is basic animation. This is how I'm gonna break it to look a little bit different, and you kind of get the same look. When animation was first starting out, and you get like Looney Tunes and all that shit, this is us making this style. This is us inventing what animation is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
And they have so much more of an experimental feel to them.
Yeah, they had to invent all of those techniques because they
Yeah.
didn't exist before.
It's
Yeah.
so crazy. And it's like, I also feel like that's a problem with going into like anything like this, like animation or art in general. Is like, I need to find a way to diversify myself instead of being like, I'm here to create my art, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What's up?
I'm not too keen on like animation knowledge. Like I appreciate the medium and I understand how much work goes into it and things like that. But when it comes to like the nitty gritty, I'm not well informed on it. But my question was essentially claymation.
Oh
Right.
my fucking god, claymation. God, talk about something that takes so much effort.
Yeah.
But my question is that even though it's not, it's because it's not animation, right?
Oh no, it is.
You know, it's
it
not-
counts.
Yeah, it's just
Oh, so it does. Okay.
yeah, but instead of like drawing and stuff, you have like a physical model that you're moving around.
Yeah, so claymation
Alright,
is
yeah,
a lot more akin to what 3D animators do, except with the added difficulty of if you make the slightest mistake, you almost have to restart the entire scene. Like with a computer, you have a file that's saved, right? And if you change something, you can press Control Z and you can go back and undo whatever thing that you did. But with a clay model that's on a physical set, like if you drop it and you break its spine, you have to build a new one. And if you're halfway through a scene, then you know,
You want to break your own spine.
yeah, exactly. You want to just jump off a cliff, because I think claymation is actually one of the highest forms of animation.
Oh, no, like I
Oh,
saw.
wow, okay.
Yeah, I saw a time lapse for what is it? Cube, the two strings movie. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Kubo.
Oh, Kubo and the two
Oh.
strings.
Kubo,
Yeah, it was like a minute of it was a time lapse of a 2-minute scene that they recorded, and it was like, even sped up, it took them so long to do all that.
Yeah, I love those. If you go on the studio's called Laika Studios, Laika. On their Instagram, they post that kind of stuff all the time, and even for like a 10-second shot, you can watch 3 different animators, and each of them is wearing like 15 different outfits in the span of a 10-second clip. Like, it took them 15 days to shoot that. You'll notice, like, and once you're an animator and you can like feel how many frames are going by every second, you'll watch it and you'll be like, okay, it took them, you see an outfit change every 8 frames. That means it took them a whole day to film 1/3 of a second of animation. And you can just count that based on how often their outfit changes.
Yeah, like claymation. I have so much, like, especially, I don't even want to. When it's done good, like, the level of expertise that has to be put in is just incredible to me.
Well, I brought up claymation because one of my favorite movies is Coraline.
Yeah.
Same studio,
And
by the way,
I-
Laika Studios. They did
Yeah.
Kubo.
Yep. And so I was wondering like just how much like it compares to using a computer and like that style of animation.
It's definitely a different set of
And-
skills. I wouldn't say one is necessarily harder than the other, but I find Coraline so much nicer to look at than Monsters University. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's true.
that's
Take that,
that is
Pixar!
extremely true.
There it
yeah,
is.
Fuck you,
We
Pixar.
got
I
him.
told you we were coming.
But
I told you.
But here's the thing, right? Because, like, I don't want to say that you can pump out 3D animation, but there's a certain amount where you can get away with it if you're not putting in too much effort. I feel like claymation, you can't go in with half-assing it, you know what
There's
I mean?
no shortcut,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Like, the biggest thing I see in 3D animation is that they're, like, compared to claymation, there's shortcuts. Because you can have tweens, which is just kind of like a buzzword that they use, to animate from one point to another point. So say I want to move this character from left to right, and I can have the computer generate the frames in between, and I can just kind of modify it as it's going along to get the poses I want. In claymation, you physically have to do that part by part by part by part.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I mentioned earlier about how there's like 15 teams on a computer animation like production, where one of them does lighting, one of them does this and the other thing. But those people all get to essentially work independently of each other. But the lighting team on a stop motion set has to be there at the same time, so they have to coordinate the lighting guy, the animators, the person who's responsible for like making the snow fall if it's a snow scene like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's essentially a film production. You have to have like 50 people there on set while you're shooting, but you're going one frame every hour depending on how complex the animation is.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly.
There's a reason you don't see it everywhere, you know?
Yeah, and unfortunately those
But-
Leica studio movies don't make as much money as they should. So that
That's definitely a big shame. But then it's one of those things where it's like when like I hope like artists that do animation and claymation, things like that, like understand how much they're like valued, I guess,
Mhm.
because it's such like a tedious job. And you know, like you said, they didn't make a lot of, like, the movies didn't make a lot of money, but to the people who did see it, like, you know, it impacts them,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
I think
Like,
we'll,
I
Because, yeah,
watched.
So
I think we'll see a substantial difference in content and how it's viewed as we transition towards primarily streaming, because those Leica movies were competing with like Avengers movies. So
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
have the thing that they want to see, but in the age of streaming where you're at home and you need something to watch and you can put on Kubo and then you can immediately afterwards watch a documentary about the production
did
of
it,
Kubo. Like I think stop motion will definitely come back. We're seeing definitely a surge in kind of this lo-fi stop motion, which you know, Buns and I were talking about yesterday, which
You
is
can
this,
say Mackenzie.
or Mackenzie, whatever. This guy on Adult Swim, and you'll see a lot of stop motion on Adult Swim compared to any other
Yeah.
TV station.
Yeah.
But this one guy on Adult Swim is doing this really incredible stop motion stuff, and he does it all by himself. He has no team. He's just doing it in his garage basically, but he does it so fast and so loose that it takes on a very lo-fi aesthetic, which I really appreciate. His name is Jock Stober. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it.
Oh,
Yeah.
the boy.
Yeah, but he did Opal, which came out last Halloween, and that's an incredible piece. And he also blends in like 3D animation and 2D stuff, but his bread and butter is claymation, and honestly, it's incredible. And I think we're going to see a resurgence in that type of content pretty soon here,
Right.
especially in the YouTube space. I think we'll see more stop motion. There's this one channel that gets millions of views where this guy does like these stop motion animations with Lego, but they're like cooking. They're like,
Oh yes, I know what you're talking
yeah,
about.
you've probably seen one recommended to you recently.
Yeah.
Like he'll like cut up a fruit or some ingredient, and then once he cuts it, it turns into Lego. So it's all stop motion, but he's like really, really precise with his animations, and he has such good sound design too, which is so important in animation, is the sound.
yeah.
It sounds like you're
it-
listening to an egg getting cracked or a drink being poured. It sounds amazing.
It's really impressive to see that kind of stuff.
I definitely do feel like something's changed, because I feel like for a while, like the normal consumer, like animate, like the quality of what they were watching didn't necessarily matter as long as it was, passable to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like modern day it's become a lot more important, especially in stuff like anime.
Yeah.
The big shows now, like, I feel like most of them are extreme. Well, not all the time, but when it matters, they have these extremely well animated things.
Well, okay, I'm gonna just bring up real quick since anime is brought up. When big shows were coming about originally, you had shit like Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Naruto, stuff like that, and for the most part, they're very poorly animated, right? Not because of like any big reason. It's just because they're on a super tight time crunch.
Let's say
And they don't have
cheaply.
enough time.
Let's say
Yeah, it's just
yeah.
yeah. So it's like cheaply animated, and everyone was like okay with it because I mean they didn't know really much else because nothing really cracked through that ceiling to reach the mainstream. But then we got shows like My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, and Demon Slayer, who just blow the
Can I
low
just say,
animation quality out of water.
can we not put My Hero in that category?
They do.
I don't think it's fair to the other shows at all, because they
Okay, that's. I guess that's fair.
because they do the Naruto or the Dragon Ball thing, where they'll stand around for a while and then they'll cut to the big scene, but then they'll just go back to sort of the normal.
Yeah,
I
I guess Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer are probably the best ones.
I think it's a couple different factors. The main one being that as anime increases in popularity, it makes more money. And when stuff makes more money, they can afford to pump more money into productions. So that's generally a thing where you'll notice now CGI in every single shot in a Marvel movie because those movies are guaranteed to make as much money as they do. But if you go back to X-Men 1, like...
Oh my god.
They're so nervous about pumping money into it because,
Yeah.
I mean,
So it was
they had no idea.
it was a lot cheaper back then. Not just because of inflation, but because they didn't want to put that much money into a movie. And I mean, that movie works fine, but also in the past 21 years since that movie, you've seen an increase in budgets for those types of movies. And it's the same thing with anime. Anime has at least quadrupled its viewership in the United States in the past 15 years.
Most definitely.
Probably more than that, honestly. Because, I mean, I run into people at these restaurants that I work at who, you know, they're not weeaboos, but they still watch anime. You know what I mean? Like, it used to be like that weird guy who stays in his room all day and, you know, that guy watches anime. But now it's like just any guy you meet on the street or any random girl you meet on the street could just be into anime. That's how popular it's gotten. So that contributes to the increasing quality, because if you have more money to make something with, you're going to make a better product. And then you also have, as a result of that, as more people enjoy anime and animation as an art form, as more people are getting into it, and also as populations generally become more educated, which is a trend in the Western world, is we're generally more educated than our parents, and our parents are generally more educated than their parents. People become more discerning as to the media they consume, especially in terms of quality, not necessarily in terms of underlying themes or messages, but you definitely have an aspect of tons of people now are way more aware of what good quality animation looks like, and so that's what they tend to gravitate towards. So that's a further incentive to create better products that are of higher quality than they were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's really nice too, because I feel like, especially over here, you know, the perception is that animation is for children.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that. Like, what do you think of like that?
I think we're slowly
stigma.
getting away from that. It's not entirely gone. You still have people that
Yeah.
don't understand that animation can be for adults necessarily, or they still have like this kind of internalized view of animation that it's more childish or something, and that's just you know, that's just sad,
Or-
honestly. But we're slowly
they
getting
think,
away from
like-
that as we see more adult-oriented animations come into the mainstream, like BoJack. We had Sausage Party a few years ago.
Does that one really count?
No, it was terrible, but it was a mainstream animation aimed at adults that people still remember.
Yeah. And now we have
That's
things
fair.
blowing up like Castlevania, which is that show's amazing.
Yeah, Castlevania.
Castlevania
And we
is
got,
good, but I think Castlevania targets an anime audience. I don't think
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily
agree.
breaking into the mainstream the way that something like God, what else is out there these days?
Invincible.
Invincible, there you go. That's a good one, because that one is I think being advertised a lot more.
Yeah. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, that is an all ages movie though, so I don't think that.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
you know, my personal opinion is that I think all animation should be all ages. Not necessarily all. I mean, I have quite a few F-bombs dropped in my pilot that I'm working on. But I think animation more than any other medium is best suited towards serving a 9 to 99 audience. Like anybody can enjoy Spider-Verse, anybody can enjoy Kubo and the Two Strings or Coraline, anybody can enjoy the Mitchells versus the Machines, or I don't know, Gravity Falls, which is my favorite show.
Such a good
It's
show.
really good.
I fucking love that show.
I think we're slowly getting to that point where and you even hear this. So I'm part of this film festival every year, where you actually get to meet people in the industry, and one of the things that they've noticed and they're pivoting towards more is stuff like Gravity Falls, where if you're a parent and you have to watch something with your 8-year-old, you want it to be as enjoyable for yourself as possible.
Yeah.
So companies like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network have taken note of that, and they're trying to push these more enjoyable shows, which are
I
enjoyable for parents as much as they are for kids.
I feel like there was a little bit of that a little while ago when I was still growing up. Like like it was getting weird, and it had like jokes that children may not get but parents might. And then Cartoon Network especially had this period where it wanted to try and again appeal to an older audience, which is when they switched to the horrible reality show phase.
Oh God.
That was that's a phase that is very unfortunate in the history of kids networks, that's unfortunately just a reality of budget. It's so much cheaper to produce those shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had stuff like Chowder and Flapjack, which I absolutely think are amazing shows personally.
Yeah, and then you went on and you got even more further into that category. You got Adventure Time, you got
Yeah.
you got the Scooby-Doo incarnation called Mystery Incorporated, where they're like dealing with supernatural horrors that are actually trying to kill them, and they all have like relationship drama. You have what was it? There was another one. Adventure Time. Oh, Regular Show was at the same time.
But yeah, I was gonna say regular show.
Yeah, and Gumball. But yeah, there's tons of good animation out there. I think we're entering people say right now we're in the age of prestige TV or peak TV, which is mostly they're talking about shows like Breaking Bad.
I
Other-
honestly wouldn't. I honestly agree with that because it seems like every show coming out now, like 5 different shows and movies and shit just came out on Netflix recently. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, I want to watch all of them.
Exactly.
Well,
You got your Game of Thrones. You got so many different, and then the Lord of the Rings show is coming out. So people are saying like, oh, we're in the age of prestige TV. I think we're about to enter the age of prestige animation.
Mm-hmm.
I would be much more excited for that than
I think we're headed there.
regular TV.
And also we're getting weirder stuff. Like Netflix just released something called City of Ghosts, which is a kids show, but it's done in like a documentary style. It has a very naturalistic sounding dialogue, but it's an animation and it's for kids. I think we're just going to see a lot more weird stuff, especially with Tuca and Birdie coming back on Adult Swim this year.
So excited for that.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more adult and all ages animation hit the mainstream pretty soon here. I think Spider-Verse 2 is going to be a groundbreaker. It's going to break all kinds of box office records.
I certainly hope so.
yeah.
The first one definitely deserved more. I feel it got a lot, but it deserved more.
Yeah, I mean it broke all of its records. It broke December box office records. It got an Oscar. I mean it did pretty well for itself. I think the second one will be even further.
Mm-hmm.
And I think pretty soon here we're going to be bathing in animation.
Yeah, I wonder if any of that has to do with just how like CGI has become just so prevalent that like even if you're going to see like a live action movie, if it's got anything like supernatural or like otherworldly, there's going to be so much CGI that it almost becomes animation at that point.
Yeah,
That's what I'm noticing a lot now too.
don't even get me started on the Lion King movie. I have a whole video.
Oh,
It's
my
so
God.
weird.
I have a whole video
live
about
Live action, but it's all.
it. Yeah,
So
my channel has a 23-minute video discussing how that film is like a nail in the coffin for Disney live action movies, which it really wasn't. I mean, they're still making them, but
Yeah, they made the Mulan one, which everyone. Oh.
everyone hated. Yeah,
It was not good.
I mean, they released like 2 movies after that. They released Mulan and Aladdin.
Mulan,
And
Aladdin.
They both did even worse than the first. Like
At least Aladdin had funny Will Smith genie.
Well, yeah, I was about to say, did Aladdin actually like? It didn't.
No.
make money,
It
but did
flopped.
make
No, it
less?
did not. It broke box office records.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It didn't.
Aladdin
flop.
did.
That's what I'm
Aladdin
like,
did insanely good.
Yeah.
It made over $1
'Cause-
billion
'cause from-
on like a $200 million budget.
It sure did.
That's why I was like, there's something wrong with that, cause from what I remember seeing a lot of articles saying that the live action Aladdin was, not that it's a good movie, but that it did great numbers
Yeah,
wise.
it did.
And then was Aladdin before or after Mulan?
Before
what I
Mulan,
remember.
no,
Yeah.
Mulan was early 2020.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so if you want to save the animation industry, please donate to my Patreon. Check me out.
Sam is single-handedly saving the animation industry.
Check me out on YouTube.
nice.
Make sure you subscribe. I have a pilot coming out later this year, which is about the film industry, but it's also about the animation industry. So look forward to that. It's called Rogue Theater. I know we mentioned it earlier, but I didn't give it a name. It's called Rogue Theater. I'm really excited to show everybody it, and you may see it at a film festival coming near you if you live in the United States.
Go to film festivals.
Go to film
go to
festivals.
go to every single film festival around you, and you might see Rogue Theater before it gets on YouTube.
Yes.
Bet.
If you-
I've seen a bit of it already.
Yeah.
He gave me a sneak peek, and it looks fantastic.
But here's the thing, even if I'm not coming to a town near you, go to your local film festivals anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he might be coming to a town near you, but he won't tell you which town.
No.
It's a secret. It's a surprise.
Well, I have two towns lined up guaranteed. Miami in June and Duluth, Minnesota in October. But
2 very different cities.
very different cities. But I may submit to something in New York City, so if you live in New York City by chance, you might see me at a film festival near you.
All right.
Well, that was a good note to end on. It was really fun. I think we got, we normally get off topic, but when we got on topic, we were, glued to this one.
I think we really drilled into it.
Yeah, I think we all have a lot of fun with animation, talking about animation.
Animation's really cool. I'm trying to become one.
You're trying to become an animation?
Fuck! I'm an animator.
Oh, God!
Oh God! I mean,
Alright.
what is it? Shock
a good-
zone?
You're like that girl that got the plastic surgery to look like a Barbie doll.
Oh God.
He's getting he just starts talking to the camera. He's got one toon arm. It's
I
like,
think
yeah.
I think the worst part is it's not. I don't even become a human. I become like fucking the cat from Tom and Jerry.
He's turning into a toon. He's getting toonified.
And they're just asking me, it's like, what do you think about your best friend Ryan getting toonified? He goes, well, I'm fine with him getting cosmetic surgery to become a toon. That's normal. A lot of people have been talking about that.
I wish
no
he'd
big
stop
deal.
shooting himself with guns and throwing anvils at people, though.
Cartoon violence is a little much for me, and the fact that he went with a fursona to be animated into is kind of where I draw the line.
Yeah, that's too far. You should not have done that, Ryan.
Furries
Yeah,
need
how
to be
could you,
stopped.
man? All right.
I think we're gonna call it there.
All right.
Thank you, Sam, for joining us. on this
Tuning in,
episode.
tuning in.
I hate you. Oh my God, tuning! Ah!
Uh,
I didn't get it, but I'm funny as hell.
Thank you for having me.
Naturally that funny.
It was
Not a problem.
a pleasure.
That's good. I hope to have you back
Hey.
at some point. We can talk about.
one good Yelp review. We
I'll be
got
back
it.
for episode 20 to finish our discussion of pizza toppings.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
We'll make
Alright.
sure that you're back for that, and we'll have something a little bit more prepared. We'll have a pizza taste testing.
Oh, good. I'll hit up the restaurant that I used to work at, and I'll bring a bunch of pizzas over,
Thank you.
and you can watch me eat them.